lays a mirror, like a mirror disc, on the table, and it's got a mountain of cocaine on it. I mean, mountain of cocaine. And I wasn't interested in deflowering a young Chinese girl. Well guys, now is as good a time as any to get started. I've been riding for about an hour, 15 kilometers down already. Downtown, I don't know where I was, but on the outskirts of Shenzhen. Outskirts of Shenzhen. And man, so many people going to work. It was bike traffic like crazy. What I might think Vietnam might look like, which is kind of interesting. But I'm near a coffee shop. I just did a bathroom break. Coffee shop doesn't serve coffee though. It says coffee on the outside, but doesn't serve coffee. We're winding through heavy city for the rest of the day. Hello. Until we get to break free of Guangzhou, and then we can kind of get into the countryside and head to Guangning. I think we're probably 2 days, 2.5 days to Guangning, which is cool. It's like 230 kilometers from here. City riding isn't very fast. It's not like I can get on a road and just kick it. There's a lot of construction, a lot of traffic, and a lot of stoplights. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Alright folks, we are in Dongguan. I don't necessarily hear so much about the crime aspect, but there was definitely a lot of prostitution here from what I was told. I was exposed to Guangdong very, very early in my experiences here in China. The prostitution was so rampant here. Xi Jinping got his hands on the leadership here in China. He did a major crackdown. So many prostitutes, so many businessmen, so many stings locking up people. I mean, it was a pretty big story. I heard it all the way in Ningbo when I was in Ningbo. The Dongguan was a quite different city than the one that people might remember or recall or party at. My first experience in Dongguan was before I moved here. I'm gonna conceal behind this car, let it sort of hide me because the lights here aren't working, the street lights. So I'm just gonna hide behind as I ride across this major road. Hello. This might be an actually interesting little segment here because I normally don't let the camera just roll as I ride, so that car's got a camera and a phone recording me. I wonder how much social media is posted on WeChat of this weird foreigner riding this weird bike through X neighborhood or Y neighborhood. Like this guy, he's slowing down because he wants to get a look. But see, by his slowing down, everybody's got to slow around him. Creates a little bit of a bottleneck. Or he doesn't slow down enough. But yeah, he's slowing down to see. Okay. 10 years ago I moved to China. Before then I took trips to China, just like short trips to go to the Canton Fair or take a look at a product I was looking at or looking towards. And so I would take these short jaunts to visit. And oftentimes these were specific trips to see people that I was doing business with or that I was sourcing products through. And I had a liaison here, like an agent they call them. It's a person on the ground in this area that helps me to negotiate and translate with the people I'm dealing with. They're like glued to your side, glued to your hip. In Ningbo, I dealt with a woman named Vera, but in Dongguan I had another girl named Ivy. Ivy now lives in Australia, but at the time she lived here and she was my liaison. And kind of a neat thing that you end up doing is you end up befriending your agent, and you befriend all of the other people that she's an agent for, who are also her friends. So you end up becoming part of her community. I became friends through Ivy to a gentleman named older gentleman. I think he was in his 50s when I came and saw him, late 50s, and skinny as a rail, big smile. He was instrumental in loosening me up in China in general, and also exposing me to a very strange experience. So let me start with, because it follows the storyline, the first experience. We met and went to a bar once, me and Ivy and a few of his friends. We were at a bar. This was a Chinese bar full of people I'd probably never meet otherwise. You know, just local Chinese. Had a big dance floor, and at the time I was extremely nervous about dancing. Actually, I've always had an aversion to dancing. I feel nervous and scared, like everybody's looking at me. Part of this tour is about loosening myself up so that I can enjoy myself and just dance if I want to dance, or just let myself go, because it's not like I don't want to dance. It's that I feel very self-conscious about it. We were at this bar and the dance club started lighting up, and the DJ started playing dance music, and he wasn't the definition of a handsome man. He was not very muscular. He was just a very lanky older guy, and he pops his shirt off and he goes out on the dance floor and just starts having a good old time. Instantly I was nervous. I was like, oh my God, I'm not with this guy. He's crazy. He's doing something that's gonna expose him to attention, and to me, attention was not a thing that was good. It was especially the way he was attracting it, I thought was bad. People just gravitated to him because he was so outgoing and so extroverted that people were just coming up and dancing to him. Girls were just kind of like really excited about hanging out with him and buying him drinks, and all of a sudden just he became the focal point of the most positive experiences happening at the bar. So he was that person that people wanted to get next to because he was putting himself out there. And so he came up to me and said, hey Matt, man, why don't you come on out there? I'm having a good time. I was like, there is no way that I can get up on that dance floor and dance. I'm too self-conscious. He said, you're never gonna meet any of these people other than this bar. If you want to dance, you should dance. You're in China. No one back home is gonna hear about it. Just enjoy yourself. What do you want to do? And so I thought about it for a second. I swallowed my pessimism. And about 10 minutes later, I was out there on the dance floor, standing on top of the speakers. Everybody was excited and coaxing me up, and pretty soon the music was playing. Because I had shut down all the worry, I just started dancing, and I'll tell you what, it was one of the best bar experiences I ever had. People were gravitating to me. I'm blocking the lane here for this lady. I'm just too wide to let her through. It was truly, truly cool, and helped loosen me up and realize I don't have to be such a stick in the mud. I can have a good time and also experience some amazing things that make people around me happy. I was very Jayoe-ish before I even knew what Jayoe was. It's a That was an up bridge, now the down bridge. I enjoy the downs. Now he's waiting for me. Isn't that how it goes? On the way up, you're blocking somebody. On the way down, somebody's blocking you. I've got a lot of momentum. I can go much faster just without any work on a downhill than I can on an uphill. On an uphill, I'm super slow. Let's see here. All right, so that was an experience. In the same trip, I think the next day, said he'd like to take me out to party. And he'd like to take me out to party in Dongguan. His factory was in Dongguan. He was actually a factory owner. He'd been in China for quite some time. Enough time to plant some roots and have a life there. To me, knowing that it's possible to plant roots there. Anytime I met somebody, I was like really impressed. God, fast forward to today, I'm the guy that people meet and might be like, wow, there's somebody planting roots, or at least feeling comfortable in China. My roots are not exactly very planted. My roots are in Ningbo, far, far away. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. You finished school? Yeah. So wanted to take me to downtown Dongguan and show me a little bit more of what nightlife is like in China and in Dongguan especially. And we got into a taxi. We drove about 45 minutes. It was a long ride. And we ended up in like some back alley place, it felt like. Although it was very black at the time, and Dongguan was still developing, so it could have really been anywhere. But in my sort of virgin Chinese eyes, it was dark, dirty, and despicable. And so we pull off to the road in front of this it was like a nightclub, all lit up with all different colored neon and flashing lights. The hostess there knew fairly well, like very well. She was a beautiful young lady, and she grabs by the hand, welcomes him into the club. Long time no see kind of look in her eyes, and they walk up to the second floor to the VIP rooms. Let me lay this club out for you a little bit. This club had 2 floors. The bar was on the first floor, open bar. Upstairs were all private rooms. The upstairs was very visible. It was like it was sort of a theater opening, so like the second floor looked down into the main area of the first floor. You could see down into the first floor. Along the dance floor area was a huge like a tic-tac-toe board. Like each square of the tic-tac-toe board was the size of, I don't know, like 5 feet tall and then 5 feet wide. And there was more than a tic-tac-toe board. There was like 10 boxes, you know, open on the tic-tac-toe board. These girls. Hello. Guilin. 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 Going to Guilin.
Wow, it's so cool.
So we get to the second floor of the club. I look out at the tic-tac-toe board, and it's just broken up cubes that are like sort of black, lined in neon. Then the DJ puts out a song, and all of a sudden the backlight behind each of these tic-tac-toe boards lights up a purple or a blue or a red, and you see this scantily clad lady in silhouette. I mean, very scantily clad, and they're dancing in each of the pockets, a different girl. It was something I had never seen to that degree, and to see that in the middle of like this weird rural bar area in China, or rural in my mind. I mean, Dongguan is a big city. It just feels rural because it's not exactly clean like New York City at the time. It was just amazing to me, and so my eyes are dazzled, and it's really quite amazing. So we sit down in this private room, like glass tables, everything's like black, shiny black, and the girl lays a mirror, like a mirror disc, on the table, and it's got a mountain of cocaine on it. I mean, mountain of cocaine. And there's little razor blades and stuff to enjoy the cocaine. I don't do cocaine. I don't do drugs. I've smoked marijuana a couple of times, but it just disagrees with me. It gives me a painful headache. Whatever you want to do is okay, as long as you don't hurt anybody, in my opinion. But I know that from point of view, I bring my foreigner friends here, and they can do whatever they want, because it's Dongguan. And also at this point in time, I was still pretty young, and the idea of getting drugs pushed in front of me was not a good prospect, and it instantly made me feel really uncomfortable, like really uncomfortable. So I push away the coke. I don't do that. And they were dumbfounded. I mean, it was like me pushing away, you know, turkey and Thanksgiving, you know, like I insulted the host. But I said, I'm sorry, I can't. I don't do drugs. That's not what I do. So the hostess brings a girl in. She sits next to me. This girl was like 16 years old, really, really young. And I think I was in my late 20s. So she sits down, and then Jan leans over to me, one hand holding the girl, the hostess. He's like, I'm gonna go home with this girl. You're gonna go home with this girl. We'll meet up in the morning, have fun. And he's gone. He's gone. Now, I was still pretty fresh off the boat at this time. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know where I was gonna sleep that night. I didn't want to sleep with this girl who just held my hand, and you know, I'm not interested in that, you know. I like a relationship, you know. And I wasn't interested in deflowering a young Chinese girl whose job is it to, you know, entertain guests at this bar. I put away the coke. I ended up drinking some beer, trying to calm down, trying to figure out a game plan. I went on the dance floor. I even danced a little bit because I was still having that positive energy from earlier. Was on the dance floor dancing with his hostess friend, and man, I was uncomfortable. So uncomfortable that around 2 o'clock in the morning, right before the bar was gonna probably start wrapping up, and I knew was probably gonna abandon me until the next day, I went up to him and I said, I'm sorry, buddy, but really sorry, but I don't know, I don't want to go home with this girl. I don't want to leave your side. I says, I don't feel comfortable. I am really uncomfortable. I want to go back to Guangzhou, which is where the trip began. He was not happy. He was not happy at all. He was really looking forward to spending the night with his friend. But for me, spending the night in Dongguan alone was not an option. So, really begrudgingly, he got in a taxi with me, and it was an extremely quiet taxi ride all the way back home to Guangzhou. It was like another hour back to Guangzhou, and he could not understand why I wasn't doing why I wasn't doing all those things that ordinarily the foreigner partner buddies that he brings to entertain would gladly take up. But here I was like steadfastly against all of that stuff. It was very strange. Bus driver was saying hi to me. We ended up back home. I ended up visiting his factory, and we still ended up having a friendship, but it sure was a awkward beginning. I never did see that. That 16-year-old girl gave me like a bracelet, apparently like a bonding bracelet, or like a I heart ring or something. Apparently she was really smitten by me, but I was not having it. I probably would have done it differently had the Matthew from today gone there. I still would have made the same decisions, but I could have fended my own there in Dongguan for a night and figured it out. Probably had a great time at the bar. But after I saw that plate of Coke and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, and I didn't even really speak very good Chinese at the time. I just became really afraid. Today though, I'm a lot more go with the flow sort of personality than I was then. But yeah, that is my experience with Dongguan. I don't think Dongguan is the same though today as it was those days. It's grown a lot. A lot of parts of it have been shut down, like I said, by the government. So I don't even know if that bar still exists. I doubt it. I wonder where that hostess is today. I still talk to though. He's a good guy. You see that square building right there? That is the Canton Fairgrounds. That is the Canton Fair. We're not going to be going to that area, although the trike has arrived there once or twice. Today we are headed straight ahead. You can see a little finger cuffs building. That's a staple here in Guangzhou. And our hotel is opposite of that. Found a decent place to stay, not too expensive. But it'll be nice to spend one final day here in Guangzhou before moving on. Hello. Oh, OK， 没关系，没关系，没关系。我要拍照。See you later.
Can I take photo here?
Yeah, of course.
Can I?
Yeah.
I can see here.
Yeah, put your feet here first. Here.
Oh, 你想去影張相啊？
Other way.
Like that. Like that.
Yeah. Your feet are too short though. Yeah. There was a security guard back there. Oh boy, he was not happy that I had my trike there. Lighten up. Everybody was taking pictures, having a good old time. All right, let me brief for a little bit. I'm buying like a apartment for the night, I think there's a bunch of high-rise apartments. They like swap them out as like daily rentals, you know. So I'm going into one building and they have a front desk there. And I asked the guy, I showed him the address in Chinese and the name of the place in Chinese. And it is here. It is like within like 100 meters and either less than 100 meters. It is right here. So I show him the address. I say, is this you guys? No, Wabuzidao. I says, do you know where it is in Chinese? I says, do you know where it is? No, Wabuzidao. He says, you don't know where this place is. Wabuzidao. I says, is it over there? Wabuzidao. I don't know. I don't know. That is I feel like that's a distinctly Chinese thing, because I think in America we all pretty much know our address and we know what's around. If somebody was to ask us, hey, are you 22016 California Road? Oh, no, we're 22015. Where is 22016? Oh, it's right down the street. Maybe even you don't know the business, but you for sure know where that place is. Don't give me no shit that you don't know where that place is. I get that a lot. If you don't have the exact same address as the place you're looking for, if they're not at the exact address that you're looking for, they will not help you. I won't say that that's everywhere, but I would say that's happened more than a dozen times to me. What it was like. And I know he might be working there from way out of town, but you literally work in the front desk of, see, there's this building, or that building, or that building, or that building. That's where I'm staying tonight. And you don't know if any of them are even adjacent to the address, you know? Crazy. You don't know what road you live on or work on? I don't know. Crazy. Anyway, I gotta find my place. Probably have to ask a few more people. Hopefully they know where they live. All right, guys. It turns out that the place that I was looking for was right across from the place that the guy didn't know where we are. But this is my friend. He's the guy that's working for I think it's a service that has a bunch of rooms that are available for rental for like one night's things. But he upgraded me to the 30th floor. Pretty cool. Taikula. Oh, tell me hi. Cool. Okay, yeah. Cool. Okay, great. Okay? Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Next time on the Jayoe vlog.
He's a reporter, right?
Yes, I'm a reporter from Guangzhou Daily.
He saw me riding through the park and he wants to have an interview. Well, what's your reservation? I says, we need a reservation to sit down and have coffee with somebody? And a guy from Singapore came in the door. He said, are you Matt?